to my workbench. What I have here is, well, this whole project is pretty much maybe a little more for my own reference than for anything else, but I'm probably going to put it on YouTube eventually. What I have here is a Hubsan clone, a Hubsan X4 clone. This particular clone actually flies great and features in one of my earlier videos called Rambo and the quadcopter, but it is pretty much falling apart from various crashes. Yeah, you can see I've already broken another blade. These aren't even the original props. These are extra ones I got from some place. But yes, there's been some modifications, and from all the crashes, because this is one of the quadcopters I taught myself to fly on, and this arm actually completely broke off. You can see there's wads of hot glue in there, there are cable ties, the screws have gone missing, etc., but it actually does still fly okay until this arm broke, and things started going wonky from there because I could never get this arm quite aligned the way it's supposed to be. Also, interestingly, the motor that's in here comes from another little quadcopter which died on me, and I just decided that this motor might work on here, and I tested it one day and it actually did work because this motor failed on me. That's the thing with brushed motors. But anyway, I'm going to try this little experiment and try and transfer this little Hubsan clone's innards to another Hubsan clone body or shell or whatever you'd like to call it. Now, this one didn't actually come with any screws, so I do hope that I do get enough screws from this one to be able to assemble this one. Also, this one has place for little LEDs, which this one does not have. Okay, and it's basically, I just want to see if I can get everything in here and get it flying. Alright, so let's go ahead. Let's first see if we can get this little body. It seems that parts of this body actually just clip together, because there it's unclipped already on that side. Now let's try and do this carefully without breaking it, because it's very cheap. I can't even remember where I got this from. It's been lying in my desk drawer for a while, so I can't really remember where I ordered it from. The mailman just drops these things off, and yeah, you open them up and you see, okay, well, there's a project waiting to be done sooner or later, and wow, oh, okay, it doesn't seem to have broken, but yes, I've got it open. Right, that's the bottom part, that's the top part. It seems I'm only going to need 3 screws, but how do you actually get the motors inside here? We will have to figure that out. Looks like they just drop in. Interesting. We will have to figure that out one way or another. Okay, do bear in mind if you're watching this part of the video, this video is more for myself than for anything else, just to see if things do go wrong, where they went wrong, why they went wrong, etc. It does seem that I'm going to have to do some soldering here, but to be honest, it really looks like these motors just push in. Anyway, that's that part. Let's put that one side. I'm going to put that over there. And yeah, let's start taking this one apart. Right, first part. Let's take these cable ties off. And this one. Right, so those, throw those away. Okay, well, maybe we should just take off these propellers. this one's marked A, and on this body it actually does have markings for A, B, etc. Since these propellers are marked A, B, A, and this body is also marked A, B, A, I'm hoping that they'll just fit in there. Okay, this body isn't actually marked, so I'm thinking, how am I going to mark the machines so that when they come out here I know which ones need to go onto that side. I think the machines marked B, which have these black propellers on, I'm actually going to, since I previously marked them black there, I'm going to take a permanent marker, Sharpie as it's called in some parts of the world, and I will mark them with black as they come out. I wonder if that'll hold, but let's just give that a shot. There's part of the motor exposed, and I'm going to give that a little black mark. Let's see if we can get a part of the motor exposed. Yeah, oh, this is a little different motor. Let's see if we can get something exposed there. There we go. Interestingly, the motor that I replaced, yeah, is quite a bit smaller than the others, but she flies great. This is my little Hubsan, Franken-clone, whatever you'd like to call it. So it's purely for experimental purposes and for playing, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't care. If no one else has one like this, that's as well. Okay, well, let's take that part. Alright, you know, I need a little holder to put these screws in. What do I have here? Oh, hold on. I've actually forgotten about these little screws. I can't remember where I got these screws, but I'm pretty sure these screws are about the same size. Now, interestingly, this, if I just put this back together, is actually a Sony camera. This is for a lens cap, the rear part. This is a body cap. And if you have a Sony camera, or I suppose if you have other cameras, Canon, Nikon, you name it, and you have these two parts, they're actually sealed together pretty well and very nice for storing small little parts and things in that you just want to carry with you and without losing them. And there you have it. So I'm going to put my screws in there. I'm just going to take out one and confirm that it's the same size as those. Ooh, these screws don't really turn into anything, it appears. Okay, that one doesn't want to come out. I'll pull it out just now. This one's almost already fallen out. Oh, okay, these are small. Okay, these are tiny. Yeah, that's a tiny little screw. I do apologize, I've got a bit of the sniffles, hay fever. Those of you who suffer from hay fever as I do from time to time know what it's like when hay fever tackles you and you get the sniffles and your eyes burn. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead with this project anyway because it is a Sunday afternoon. The wife is busy doing some laundry, cleaning the kitchen, busy with a nice salad. I'm going to do a nice little barbecue, or a braai as we call it in South Africa, a little later this afternoon. If you want to see how us South Africans braai, just go look at the videos. There's a little video a little earlier that actually shows how I, as an average South African, go about doing a braai. Or okay, hold on, there's more screws there, and let's see if these aren't a little longer. Oh, those are still tiny little screws. Very odd set of screws, really tiny. You'd expect them to be slightly larger. Oh, it doesn't seem like a screwdriver of mine actually fits in there. Let me see if I can find one that's a little longer. Right, smaller screwdriver. Let's see if we can get that out there. Okay, that seems to have released. Let's see. I've got a bit of blade here. Cut some of the hot glue away. Okay, this part is broken anyway. I don't want to break any wires. Let's put that down. Oh, okay. Here's my first little break. Where did that come off there? Did that come off there? Where did it come off? Seems it came off there, so I'll have to resolder that one. Okay. Okay, this is turning out to be a lot more of a mission than I anticipated. Yeah. Right, finally, we got that out. And this is floppy. It's not the strongest of materials, but hey, it suffices compared to the. Okay, these shells are actually a little upside down. Oh, hold on. That one actually comes as a two-part shell. This one comes as a little more single module. But anyway, I need to get these wires off here. It's a little messy, but you know, we'll try and clean that up a little later. Right. Oh, these machines do actually stick to each other. Now you can actually see, this is a motor that I replaced one of these with. It works, but you can see there's quite a bit of a size difference. But you know, it works. It hasn't failed, so I'm happy. Right. Oh, there you see there, it actually shows M2 minus M2 plus. So I just need to resolder that one there. We'll do that in a minute. Let me just clean up this as well. There you go. Now, I'm not going to take all of it off. I just want this glob a little smaller. It's a little easier to work with. And see if I can get it back into the other thing. Get it back into the new body. That is too much. Alright. That'll do for now. Anyway, first things first, let's heat up the soldering iron. Bring that a little closer. I'm using an old ashtray. Okay, I'm just going to give that a couple of minutes to heat up. While I remove the rest of this. It seems a lot of this has just been pushed in and pressed in. You have to admire some of this simple engineering. Let's see. This actually says antenna. I can't see an antenna. Maybe it's on the top. Oh, there it is on the top. Right, this whole board is just mounted by two little screws. I think I'm going to use. Let me just clean up. I want to clean up this desk a little bit. Right, let's throw all that junk away. Okay, right, and let's get the board off here. And pretty small screws again. They look similar to the other large ones I have there. Okay, let's check this motor out here as well. And there we have it. That's the old damaged body. And if we compare it to what the all new one looks like, it's pretty similar, but we'll see how we get this all mounted. We can see there's two little mounting screws for the board. There's the two little pillars, and this one has the same two pillars. Let's just hope that the spacing is pretty much the same. Okay, and there's the antenna on top. There's a little bit of burning. Oh, it's not too bad. Okay, let's first see if this mounts onto this. Ooh, these little motors love sticking together. It looks like the, you know, even if I just get one mounted, oh, it looks like we're going to get both mounted. Now, how do these motors go in here? Okay, that is a very interesting question. It seems I'm going to have to remove this is just to see. Oh, it's just a nice tight fit. Okay, so I'm going to have to desolder all of these motors and solder them on again. So that is the way it seems that these mounts work. I just press in. Right, I've got a little wet sponger, and I'm just going to use that to clean the tip of my soldering iron. I do also have here a solder sucker. Unfortunately, I do not have a pair of helping hands. Now, I normally use this stuff. Now, this we call poster tack, or well, in South Africa we call it press stick, but everywhere else in the world, most places, they call it blue tack or poster tack or something like that. It's just a sticky stuff, but it doesn't leave any residue, and it's great for sticking things down temporarily at spots. And I currently use that as a pair of helping hands. I actually ordered one of those little gadgets for the clamps, but I'm still waiting on that. So while I wait for that, I need to do this all manually. Alright, let's just take a, what I'm going to do is just take a photo. And we are ready. Let's take a quick photo of what's going on in there. We don't need the best, highest quality photo. We just need one, so that if things do go a little wonky, we can always correct it. Right, let's just look here. The positive on each wire is always red, and depending on the spin of the motors, the other wire is either black or blue. Now, I'm just actually going to make a simple note of that. Alright, let's take a look at how this works. We have the board. There's a basic shape with antenna to the bottom, which is there. Then we have M1, M2, M3, and M4. Blue. Okay. Right, just so we know the order, etc., etc. Okay, just a little note. Even though I've got the photo, I like to have little notes as well. Go. Now first thing, this thing, orientation, that's front, this is back. We need to first just check our orientation of this thing. Let me just get this stuff away. Okay, and this one we need to mount that way around. Okay, here we go, that's our orientation. Where we're going to get it in here. Okay. Anyways, let's get these little engines in there. Okay, now we said we're gonna mark. That's black. That's B. That needs to go on that side. This whole thing actually flies the wrong way around. So A now actually becomes B. It doesn't actually matter. Yeah. See, but from flight board's perspective, I must just remember these are now the wrong way around. Okay. Too bad. Get this little, now this little motor is not quite as tall as the others, so I'm going to have to measure and see. Right, that's as far as this one should go in, and the difference I will make up by adding in, hold on, let's just get the flat screwdriver there. Right, there's a nice flat shove. Right, I wanted that same height. Okay, now I've got these two the same height, even though this little motor is a little shorter than this one. I just want them to be the same height because that does make a little bit of a difference to the flight controller. That difference in there I'm going to fill up with, I'll see, maybe a little wad of hot glue. I'm actually thinking of adding hot glue just to the bottoms of each of these feet because I don't have these little rubbers. They are gone a long time ago, I think. Here I have one. I think I only have 2 of them left, but I'm not going to put them on. I'm going to put a wad of hot glue at the bottom of each foot just for protection as this thing lands. Alright, let's go ahead and install the other motors. Another one. Right. Now, I'm just temporarily going to put this little wad of poster tack there, because I just want to hold it. I just want to solder on these little wires, but since there's heat involved, I don't want to melt or damage the plastic in any way. So once the motors have been soldered on, I can lift it up and just remove it. Okay. Oops. Right. That's motor number 1. All the soldering is now done. It's probably not the prettiest. It's not my kind of thing, soldering things this small. But yeah, I suppose it's good enough to do the job. Next step is now to remove again our poster tack. Okay. Some globules of solder stuck to it. I like to use this stuff again, even though it's incredibly cheap. There's no use in just wasting it. Okay, that's nice and good for another go or two. Right, the next thing is, actually, before we go ahead and do anything else, let's attach a battery and see if she works. I'm just going to pull up a remote control here. It's very simple, toy grade remote control. Right, it's got a little single cell 350 milliamp hour battery. Connect it up. Okay. It's got these little blue lights. It's combines and the motors are spinning. Okay, I'm just going to test and see that all of them are spinning. That one's spinning. That one's spinning. That one's spinning. That one's spinning. Now, just as a very simple test, I'm actually going to put on this broken prop, because that's just going to show me which direction these are spinning, so you can easily see. You can see that one's spinning that direction, which is correct. Oops, I spun that up way too fast. But just shows you it works. Okay. Just a little bit of power. Okay. Alright, that actually disappeared. It's too far. No problem. And this last one. Okay, so they all do work. Great, so my soldering is not bad. Okay, next step, let's get this little board mounted. Just slightly, just switch off that remote and put that one side. It's these slightly larger screws, there's only 2 of them. Fortunately, I do have extras of these. Now, obviously, you are turning metal into plastic, so you only turn until it grips enough that the board won't go anywhere, but not so tight that you crack the board or strip the plastic. And there you go. Right, now the next thing is basically just popping in these wires into a spot so that they are fairly hidden to lay into. There we go. Trying to keep it as neat as possible. I know I've seen some of these manufacturing plants or factories, and they like using ladies. Obviously they have hands a little more nimble and smaller than us guys. Sometimes tend to have larger bearish hands, even though my hands are maybe not that big. I think pretty average, but yeah, that's the way we are born, and we have to accept it. It does make our lives easier in other ways, but for working with these fine little things, it does make it a little in there. I'm just going to use the foot of screwdriver to push it into that area. Oh, I should have actually thought about this a long time ago. It's a little easier than trying to use my very short fingernails. Nicely, just stay there please, thank you. Alright. Yeah, I normally don't talk to myself that much. I'm pretty much talking to vague attempt to try and amuse the watchers, if they even get to anywhere near this point. Okay, let's see if we can get this little casing closed. If it'll clip in or if it'll break. Ha! It does actually just clip in. Let's try this one. Okay, that one's clipped in. That one's clipped in. And that one's clipped in. Beautiful. Okay. Now we had 3 of these little body screws, and they were actually not very big. So I'm going to take that one. But I'm going to use that little more of a precision screw for them. Oh, hold on. Let's take one of our little magnets. Right, what I have here, hoping you can see this. There's a little neodymium magnet. I got them in a large packet. They come in various strings like this. I like using these to magnetize screwdrivers for little jobs like this, because it just makes life so much easier. Now these screwdrivers, they don't add that much magnetism that they'll cause a permanent magnetization of your screwdriver, but just enough to hold on to small little screws like this without you dropping them. Screws. Okay. Let's see, I had a little polishing cloth around here somewhere. There we go. Let's clean it off slightly. And there you go, guys. There's our little quadcopter. Right. Here's one of my spare propellers. Now, one of the black ones. Now, I've got to put this, the black ones here are actually B. But I'm going to put it onto A because I know A is incorrectly marked. Hold on, before we do that, this one is not, this is the one that's the replacement motor that I originally replaced from the original one, and it's got a little space there where the others are seated quite nicely, and I think I'm just going to put in a dab of hot glue there. Right, here's a hot glue gun. Hot glue gun. Plug that in. Okay, I'm going to allow that to warm up. Now while that's warming up, I'm just going to put something under it so it doesn't make a mess, because sometimes hot glue does come out. I have been using this, which is just the top of a CD tray, and that works actually quite nicely because it stops the hot glue from going all over my table and messing it up. I'll be back when this is warmed up. Alright, so our glue gun has warmed up sufficiently. I'm just going to clean the tip off a little there. Okay, let's get that motor. There it is, that one. Let's see from which side I'm going to insert this glue. Now what I like to do also is just keep a piece of paper handy. This is the one I made my notes on. Let's just make a small, tear a small piece here. And I'll show you now why. Right. Once you have your little motor or whatever thing that you want to glue handy, ready, etc., I like to keep a piece of paper underneath. Gives me a little bit of visibility. Plus, if I do make a mess, it drops on that and not onto my work table. And I'm just going to squeeze a little bit in there on that side, and a little amount on this side as well. There we go. Right, now another piece of paper, because this stuff is hot, so any excesses, use a piece of paper. There you go, just to get the worst of it off. It also thins it out, so if you want to cut it off later a little bit, etc. Right, I want to try and keep it as neat as possible. You see now, because it's thin, it comes, the little excesses come off and they do not stick to the machine and everything. That little blob we have inside is enough to hold it together. Right, now what I'm also going to do is just put small little globules onto the ends. Yeah. Alright, I'm actually going to allow it to... Okay, don't worry about the strings. Right, if it wants to run a little, I'm going to allow it to run to the inside rather. Alright. Okay, that looks good. These do eventually break off, but you know, it stops the motor casing from taking all those knocks. And you can always put on more globules of hot glue. And there you go. I'm just going to allow that to cool off and harden, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, now we're back, and our globules of hot glue have cooled down. These little strings we can now take off, get rid of them, and there we have it. Little globules serving as feet. And the thing is, interestingly, that hot glue also has a bit of a non-slip to them, so you can see if this thing, it just stops. There's no slippage. It grips a little bit. But anyway, let's go ahead and fit the props. Now this is a B prop, so it needs to go into an A leg because of our rebuild. These just squeeze over. Oh, they do fit quite nice and snug. Another one on this side. So A, B. Okay, I'm going to squeeze this one on a little tighter. There we go. Okay, there's that one. And then there's that one. Right, let's fit a battery. Oh, the battery is going to squeeze back in, yeah. Even though you can remove these batteries, they aren't really made for constant removal. And eventually this little piece breaks off on my original one. Hold on, let me just pull that out closer. You can see that little piece did break off there. Oh, I don't think it's this one, but there was a piece there that eventually broke off, and but it grips in there good enough, or well enough. Let's just connect it up. I like to twist, give it a little bit of a twist, and then just pop it in there. Alright, so just take this stuff out of the way. Let's see if this works. Switch on our remote, bind, and there we go. Let's see if she takes off. And yes, she does fly. I'm just going to hold on to her. She works great. Okay, I'm going to go take her for a flight. There you can see. Works fantastic. Alright, we're in the backyard, and I'm going to test my rebuild of the little Hubsan X4 clone, which we did, and see how she flies. Oh, not bad. A little bit of trimming. Oh, that is actually really not good. Not bad. It is there. But she's flying great, I think. I just love this. There you go, guys. That's our little Hubsan clone rebuilt, and I'm quite happy with that.